Hello friends, I'm Aubrey and this is Crybaby Metal Homestead, and today we're going to finally start planting some seeds. I had them already and forgot about them either last year or the year before, and I hid them for myself, so they're already labeled and everything. I just got to get them into some soil. So let's go ahead and mix the soil up and start planting. One of the best ways I keep track of my plants that I'm planting in these little cups is by marking the type in Sharpie marker on the outside of the cup. It's wonderful. You won't lose track of what the plants are. It's not a tag that's going to get misplaced or fall out or whatever. Writing on the cups directly is awesome. I'm going to add some perlite to the soil as I fill up these containers, and having it in a tote or a container to like kind of carry it around is going to be way more convenient. Those cups are called corn salad, not corn. It's called Mache or corn salad, and hopefully these are viable, but those are already labeled, so I'm going to go ahead and use them up and use the seeds. Not high tech. I just put a upside down container, make this a little bit more ergonomic for me. So I've got like a little station here. I can reach everything, not bending too crazy. And I'm just going to sprinkle some on top and then put more soil on top of it. And if you overthink things too much, make it too complicated for yourself, you're not going to do it. So, these are older seeds. I'm going to overplant. I've got lots more seeds. I'm going to use all of them, I want to use them up. And I'm getting a little crazy. I know. I'm not doing it the right way. I'm doing it the easy way. And this is a little kid's scooper shovel. And that is a cat litter container. Yes, it is. I'm doing it how I want to do it. Just making it simple and not tedious. And if I have a big piece, I'm just going to chuck it off to the side. Whatever's clever. I'm going to plant some Brussel sprouts. I'm going to overplant them and transplant them when they pop up. Or when they're, like not immediately after they pop up, but when they're a good size. And I only have one cup made up apparently. I think I'll probably have some more somewhere else. I'm going to go ahead and plant those now. Here we've got Malabar spinach, some Mache or corn salad, Brussels sprouts, a honey boat type of squash, and some cucumbers. Put that off to the side. And I'll start some more. These are Lima Christmas bean pole beans. Aren't those beautiful? Doing 3 or 4 to a cup. I planted some banana melon seeds. I planted some winter squash Sibley, and that was from Fruition Seeds. And this is an heirloom. Magnificent flavor, texture sublime, reliably abundant, and stores through the following June. Direct seed after frost. Now it's before the first frost, and I am transplanting them. I will be transplanting them. I'm going to go buy some totes, I think, as like a makeshift greenhouse. So I am growing these winter Sibley squash from Fruition Seeds. I planted this spaghetti squash. I bought these from probably the Dollar Tree or Goodwill, probably. Most likely Goodwill. They're 59 cents for these heirloom from Valley Green. And these are, again, spaghetti squash. And if you want to pause, you can. If you want to pause and zoom in on that. But I'm just like going through and keeping a record of what I planted today. I also planted these Sunset Runner pole beans from M.I. Gardener. And these are very, very beautiful. And I am, again, planting them. I'm going to put each of these like flats like in a tote, clear tote, so that it stays nice and warm. And like something like this would be great too if you don't have a tote. But I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tote And I'm gonna like nestle each of these inside of one of them so it stays nice and warm. And that way I don't get squirrels digging there, the wind can't knock it over, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I got the Sunset Runner pole beans, and I planted some Mache, which is, they call it corn salad. It is not corn, it is green. I planted of this burpee Love Lives Bleeding amaranth, which I've grown before. Beautiful plants. I've also planted this Bloody Dock from my gardener, or no, from Baker Creek. And if you want to pause, you can. This is a perennial. It's really beautiful. I planted a bunch of seeds. So all of these packets are going to go in the trash now. I'm just kind of like keeping track of what I've got here. I've got the red and green Shiso. It's also called Perilla. And these seeds were from Botanical Interests. And they're heirlooms. It is a superfood, by the way. Very, very healthy. And I also planted the edible chrysanthemum, or shangiku. I think it's also called chop suey. And these were edible greens that I prepared either last year or the year before, and lost track of them. I talked about this broccoli rabe, or Turkish Rocket. It's a perennial. And in previous video, these are seeds I bought in a previous year though, from Fruition Seeds. And you can see here, it says it was packed for 2024. So most likely it was like the end of last year, maybe midsummer or something. And I was going to do another planting date, and I ran out of time. So finally getting around to all of these. I also planted this Casper kale from Baker Creek. And it's supposed to be a really good tasting kale, which is excellent to hear. And I also planted from Seeds and Such this hybrid Sweet Mama squash. Okay, and I threw some seeds over there, so let me grab them. Well, I should say these are a packet. They're empty now. These are winged beans, and they're early and prolific. And I just went crazy, you guys. I just planted because I've got so many seeds. It's ridiculous. So I've also planted these Scarlet Emperor snap beans and Lima beans, Christmas pole beans. These are beautiful seeds, by the way, just absolutely gorgeous. And this one here still has some seeds in it, so I'm going to put off to the side. This one I did not plant yet. Got all my garbage everywhere. Red Malabar spinach, and I actually planted some seeds that I saved from my own garden as well, and I labeled them separately so I can keep track of which one is which, because the ones that you grow yourself are going to do better in your zone. Okay, planted some of these from my gardener, the sweet dumpling squash, but there's still some seeds in here, so I'm going to tuck them back into my little basket. And there were some other things in here that I planted as well. This is what I have left. I had like 2 totes full. So I've got like 1 tray here, 1, 2, 3 and a half. And then I also planted some eggplants, Black Beauty. So I've got, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's another one underneath it. 9, 10, 11. I'm going to need to get like at least 11 clear totes or something so I can plant these. I'm just basically going to nestle it in. Like, I'm going to take the tote, put this inside of it, and put the lid on it, and of course water them first. And that way I have like little greenhouses I can move around, which is what I want. So I'm probably going to spend about $100, maybe more than that. But like if I got another one of those flimsy greenhouses, they fall over for me a lot. So like you have to set them up really good. I do have a polytunnel and a dilapidated greenhouse that I can set them inside of, and I can also stack them up. So if I have clear totes and I put one of these in each of them inside of it, and then before the hot weather I take them out, and then I rinse out those totes and put them in storage or the garage or, some like a shed or something, I can use them from year to year. The clear totes, that clear plastic breaks down really, really fast. So I would only use it for like April through the first week of May. And then the second week of May, all of those things will be transplanted out. Temporarily, I'm covering the cups with these little food covers I got from the Dollar Tree. They're called Sure Fresh, and I'm just doing this to keep them a little bit warmer until my totes come in. So I actually ordered some more of the black dish pans that I'm going to put all of the cups into those. And then I'm going to put all of those Sterilite dish pans. I'm going to melt a couple holes or drill a couple holes in the bottom. And then I'm going to put those inside of clear plastic totes. So it'll be like a greenhouse. I also purchased some smaller plastic totes. So I might mix it up. I might put some in the black dish pans or some of the small totes and then put them inside of the bigger totes. So I'm going to make a whole separate video when I get all of those in the mail. I've already received the Sterilite dish pans because I think I might have ordered those. Or those through Walmart. But I ordered the plastic totes through Amazon, and it might be a couple days before I receive all of them. So I'm going to make another video when I have everything organized and situated the way I'm envisioning it. But my whole vision on this is that I'm going to have the cups of seedlings inside of some kind of dish pan or small plastic totes that are nestled inside of larger clear plastic totes so that the plants, once they sprout, will still be able to get sunlight and photosynthesize and grow nice and big. The space between the black dish pans or small totes and the top of the interior portion of the lid of the larger totes will be enough space so that they can grow for a whole month before I have to transplant them. And basically, this is going to be a temporary situation, completely temporary. I don't want the clear plastic to break down in the sunlight. And from my experience, it breaks down pretty fast. So I'm only going to have the plants inside of the clear plastic totes from April through the first or second week of May. And then I'm going to take off the lids for during the daytime, put them back up at nighttime for a couple, like a week or so, to harden them off a little bit. And then I'm going to take the lid off for like a week, and then I'm going to transplant them. So it will be perfect transition for the plants. They're going to have a really great system that they don't have to take extra work, like trying to harden them off because they're going to already be outside. All I'm going to have to do is take the lid off, put it back on, take it off, leave it off, and then take the cups out and actually transplant them into larger containers. And I'm going to plant most of these in either large totes or really large pots. So I'm really excited about this. I've got this whole vision of what it's going to be. I'm basically using clear plastic totes as miniature greenhouses. And what I like about that is I won't have to worry about them blowing over in the wind and rain. And when I have the lid on, if it's raining, then I'm not going to have all my little seedlings drown. I'm also going to have little holes in the black dish pans so that if they do fill up at all, if I do overwater, then there's proper drainage. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, you guys. I've got some really great ideas. And one thing I want to point out is that you can take ideas that somebody's sharing with you and you can adapt them to your own needs and your own situation. So think outside the box and be creative. If you have a problem, like I didn't have the totes in time, and then I was like, okay, what do I have? I could use plastic bags. I could use saran wrap. I could use garbage bags. The plants have not sprouted yet. They don't need to be in direct light until they have green leaves. And once they're sprouted and have green leaves, then they need sunlight. So you can do a temporary fix to keep in the heat, like using a black trash bag or something like that. And then once you have what you need, then you use it. I was really frugal when I bought the clear plastic totes, because if you go to your local hardware store, a clear tote now is like 16 or $17. Some of them are like $20. And that's crazy. That doesn't make sense for me. So I went on Amazon and I found clear plastic totes for $10. The problem is you have to buy 4 at a time. Um, but you can look around and see what deals you can find. And if you don't find the same materials that I found, improvise and use something different. For instance, I might use if I have a greenhouse material, I could make my own miniature greenhouse. So just do what you need to do to get those plants going, but you're going to want to transplant out after your last frost. And so I'm going to be ready to go. I'm planting all my older seeds. I'm using things that I meant to use last year before I plant the things I'm intended for this year. Because of seed viability, your germination rate might go down a little bit. So I want to make sure I use the seeds that I already had, which is a great thing. I had them all prepped and ready to go because that was super convenient. I already had the cups labeled and I just went ahead and started planting. So I'm really excited. I will update you on how this turns out. Make sure you click like and subscribe so you can see those updates. Be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you next time. See you later.